Welcome to Obi-Wan Studios. Today I am super excited to be reviewing the most sought after LEGO Star Wars Rebel set. Of course I am talking about the 75170, the Phantom, it obviously being the Phantom 2. This set released on February 17th of 2017 for $30, and it had an absurdly short shelf life since it also retired at the end of 2017, so it was not even available for purchase for a full year. Combine a less than 1 year shelf life with this set having two incredible exclusive minifigures, and you have the perfect recipe for a set that has become extremely sought after and therefore extremely expensive. Today, if you want a sealed example, you are looking at spending around $300. And when you consider the set only has 269 total pieces and only 3 minifigs, that is a lot for such a small set. Now, as nice as having a sealed example of the Phantom 2 is, I want to build this set and put it on display, so it's time to open it up. Taking everything out of the box, you'll have your instructions manual, a very colorful sticker sheet, and then 3 numbered bags. This build won't take long at all. As usual, we are going to start off with the minifigures, and our first one is Chopper. I generally like the Rebels version of him. I think the dark orange and gray color scheme works, and the print on his body overall is pretty good. It's not stellar, but it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Now, for whatever reason, LEGO seemed to have a lot of trouble with the head prints on this version of Chopper. Both of mine, the head prints aren't completely straight and they're definitely a bit wonky. Otherwise, I think this Chopper is a great minifigure, although the new one does give it some stiff competition. And I did a comparison between both versions of Chopper if you want to check that video out after you're done watching this review. Up next, we have the minifigure responsible for the sheer hype and desire behind this set, Grand Admiral Thrawn. This is the only minifigure of Thrawn we have ever gotten, although that is going to change this August with the upcoming Battle of Peridea set. Now, I think this minifigure overall is really good. It just has one really stupid flaw out of sheer laziness on LEGO's end in my opinion, and it's the fact they got his Imperial rank wrong. You know, he's just the main villain in all of Star Wars Rebels pretty much, and it's like they couldn't have been bothered to look at a picture of him and just make sure they got that detail right before they finalized his design. Now, the one thing that I think is really funny about the ranking is that he has the ranking of what is actually either Admiral or possibly Fleet Admiral, as there is some conflicting information online about these exact specific rankings, but for the set, they even just call him Admiral Thrawn on the box. Now, I could see this being an honest mistake if Thrawn was the rank of Admiral and then promoted to Grand Admiral within the Star Wars Rebels timeline. However, from the very first moment you see him in Season 3, Episode 1, he has the rank of Grand Admiral. So both the rank on the box and the rank on his uniform are incorrect. Besides that one detail, I think his hairpiece maybe is a bit too long looking, but that's just so minor in my opinion. Overall, I really like this Thrawn minifigure. He has a second face as well, which I think just looks really great. Overall, really excited to add Thrawn to my collection. Our final minifigure is Kanan Jarrus. This time we have him as Blind Kanan. Of course, that's accurate to Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels, which this set is based on. When it comes to this set, everyone always just talks about Thrawn and how awesome it is to have him as a minifig, but this version of Kanan is just incredible, and although he is still rather expensive if you want to add him to your collection, new on his own he's worth about $80, I think he's still just overshadowed by having Thrawn in this set. The main thing about this version of Kanan, of course, is that mask, and it's utterly perfect. I think LEGO just knocked it out of the park with the design and the way they incorporated it into his hairpiece. It looks really great. And underneath the mask, you get 2 different face prints as well with the blind eyes, which is a really nice touch. I personally would have just liked to have seen us gotten a second hairpiece without the mask on, so that then you could actually display the full face with the blind eyes and have a hairpiece on, because the way it stands right now, you need to go out and grab a second hairpiece if you want to display Kanan just with the blind eyes, no mask on. Both face prints really work, however, obviously mainly for that facial expression, which you can see underneath the mask, and it's overall a really nice touch that we get so much detail when it comes to this change in Kanan's character. Kanan's body print looks really great, especially with the waist and leg printing. It's hard to say an $80 minifigure is underrated, but in the context of this set, I definitely think he is a little. Overall, the minifigure selection in the set I think is really fantastic. The addition of both Grand Admiral Thrawn and Blind Kanan alone make this set one of the best out of all the ones to release in 2017. Moving on to the Phantom 2, and I have to mention how much I just enjoyed building this set. When you start placing all of the stickers on it and getting those pops of color, this version of the Phantom just really starts to come to life, and it really shines when you finish it and put it on display. This is one of the best examples of just how great stickers can be, adding in a lot of color and detail and honestly really elevating a set. Starting off with the front, we have a really nice cockpit window piece, 2 large yellow stickers on either side of it, plus 1 small sticker on the top above the cockpit. Overall adds in that great color and little bit of detail to the top of the cockpit on the Phantom. In the midsection, we have an empty space where Chopper can dock. He fits in there nice and snug with his entire body in behind the cockpit, which is definitely a great way to display the Phantom 2. Behind Chopper's docking spot, you have the rear dorsal fin, which has these beautiful pale turquoise, almost aquamarine pieces built into it. And then you have some stickers as well with that same color and yellow on top of the wings. The dorsal fin also has what I believe to be the Phantom logo stickered on either side. Man, is that ever a sharp looking sticker. Also on top of the wings, we have these large stickers to help add a ton of detail. I do have a very slight complaint that these stickers are not the same width as the actual blue pieces that round off the wings. As you can see, I lined it up perfectly to the back where the blue pieces end, but then there is a small gap where they don't line up at the front just because the stickers aren't as wide. You could place them in the middle and then have both of the edges slightly off with those white gaps, or of course the exact opposite of what I did with the stickers lined up at the very front, then have a larger white gap at the back. But either way you do it, it's never going to be absolutely perfect, which is a shame. You also have a yellow sticker on the edge of the wings that lines up with the detailing in the yellow lining on the top sticker, which also isn't the same width as it really should be. This time it's too wide, which in general is a real shame because the color matching and detail the stickers add is absolutely incredible. The sizing on both of these just could have been a lot better and just a lot more just to the scale it should have actually been. It doesn't make it look bad really by any means in my opinion, but it's just these little details that could make the set overall just that little bit better. Moving along to the rear of the ship, and you have one final sticker on the back hatch, which when you open it up inside it has an Imperial crate with an Imperial logo sticker on the top, and then you have 2 thermal detonators inside. Looking at the exterior detailing on the Phantom 2 as a whole, when you look at the in-universe version from Rebels, you just have to appreciate how great the ship looks compared to its source material. There is so much detailing that they got right, like even the little gray section just above the blue on the wings, it's right in there in the sticker. The red on top of the dorsal fin is also there. The main thing I look for when it comes to sets is to display them, and man, does this thing just look absolutely gorgeous to display, and it's so accurate as well. Now, we've already discussed 2-play features when it comes to this set, with the ability to place Chopper in the astromech docking port and then the rear interior with the crate storage as well. When it comes to additional play features, you have 2 spring-loaded shooters designed right in the inside of the wings, which I appreciate so much because so often they just throw spring-loaded shooters or stud shooters in places where they just clearly don't belong, and it can really ruin the overall aesthetic of a set when you display it. Now, what actually fires the spring-loaded shooters is integrated as well into the design of the Phantom 2. Right underneath the dorsal fin, you have this Technic piece. You just slide it to the right or left, and that's what actually will fire off the shooters. Now, where the shooters are is in place of the Phantom's guns, which should be right beside the cockpit. But this is a detail I can honestly look past and just appreciate that this way is better than them putting stud shooters, for example, right beside the cockpit and just sitting on top, rather exposed. I think it's a very fair trade-off to lose that little bit of accuracy, but just to make the ship overall look so much more sleek and just not have very obvious play features where they don't belong. The Phantom 2 also has landing gear, which looks great and obviously follows the aesthetic of a Separatist shuttle. When I was building this set, I actually wasn't sure if the landing gear would be functional or if you just were meant to place the ship down on its bottom and then have the landing gear also at the same level, just to provide the look. However, it is strong enough to hold the Phantom up, which was a pleasant surprise. However, it definitely is not the sturdiest design and tends to need a lot of adjusting if you're moving the ship around to get it just to sit level and properly, which, trust me, was quite the pain when I was making this review for you guys. The landing gear also does fold upwards and against the ship's hull, and I think it tucks against the body fairly nicely and looks great in flight mode too. To access the interior of the cockpit, you can just pull up on this top piece with the sticker to remove the entire windshield. Inside, you have a lot more space than you would expect for a ship of this size. To place a minifigure inside, you have the tiled splitter piece for the legs and plenty of room for Kanan to sit inside. There are some nice translucent yellow studs and a printed control panel for the final details inside of the cockpit. Now, when I first bought this set, sealed for pretty much the price you'd expect to pay for it with the box in next to mint condition, only a couple of blemishes on it, I was excited because of the minifigs, and I always thought the Phantom 2, when I'd seen pictures of it and in videos online, that it looked really great. But now, opening it up and building it, is it crazy to say that while the set certainly isn't worth the $300, I definitely am not upset that I've added it to my collection. And for $30 at the time it was actually on sale in 2017, man, what an absolute banger of a set. The minifigures are fantastic. Honestly, give Grand Admiral Thrawn his proper ranking, and I really have no complaints at all. And the design of the Phantom 2 is just utterly beautiful. It's so nice to have a LEGO Star Wars set with so much color. This is why I love sets just like this, because they add so much color when it comes to a LEGO Star Wars collection, and you're displaying a set just like the Phantom 2. If you are a serious LEGO Star Wars collector, I think there are sets that really can be a highlight of a collection, and with collecting, sometimes you pay crazy prices for something just because of the collector's value, and you know what? That's just the way it is. The Phantom 2 is one of those sets that I think any serious collector should look to add to their collection at some point, especially with the Ahsoka show and Thrawn's return. This set is even more relevant now to more mainstream Star Wars media, now that we have Thrawn in live action, than it was when it was just purely within the context of Star Wars Rebels. I absolutely love this set, and if you do as well, please give the video a like and let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below. Of course, with the new Grand Admiral Thrawn minifigure coming out in August, I'll be doing a comparison between the original and the new version of him, and I really hope the new version of Thrawn is even better than this one. Of course, with the correct ranking, that's just an absolute must get right for LEGO. If you want to see that video when it comes out, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you know when that video and lots more other LEGO Star Wars videos release. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and we will see you on the next LEGO Star Wars review.